Stacy, welcome to the Orbit. It is December 4th, a Monday. We had a nice rally into the close on Friday, taking all the indices higher, particularly small caps were outperforming. The IWM was up about 3%. This morning we come in and there's a bit of a reversal in at least the major indices, with the SPY down just over almost 0.6% pre-market. The expected move for today is only about 0.5%. So the futures are already lower than what the expected move was for today. And that's something to keep an eye on, because we've been talking about here on the Orbit is the low vol levels that we find ourselves in, and the ways that you break out of something, a situation like that, tend to be either you get a reversal in the market, you start going lower, and a day like today that is down about in line with the expected move starts to accelerate either intraday, or you stack up a couple of red days. That's the type of situation where you see the VIX get up off the floor from 12.5, 13, and then you start to see it, 15, 16, it starts to pop a little bit. Now, the other way that, speaking of IWM, the other way, and I've mentioned this in the written Orbit this weekend, the other way you see vol start to pop is if you start to see investors chasing stocks and chasing calls and things to the upside. And IWM is an interesting situation here, because you can see right here this kind of breakout from this flag that was forming here. And if there is a rotation into small cap stocks, that makes a lot of sense. If that's what's happening, what you're going to see is days where the Qs are down and IWM is higher. And that's people reaching for those upside calls, and that's something to look out for, because then you might get a situation where it starts to get, a little silly, and people chasing stocks and chasing upside calls, and you might see some the volatility pop that way. So just going back to let's see what we've got this week. We've got an expected move in SPY of about 1.1%. And we've got, 1.1%. And if we go to Qs, we've got about 1.5%. And that's something to look out for. I mean, you look at the Qs right here, they're already down 0.75%. And that is, that just goes to show you how low implied volatility is across the market, with the VIX at 12.5, that's, a fairly normal, benign open in most vol situations. You're like, okay, the Qs are down, they're not even down 1%, no big deal. But that is already more than today's expected move, as mentioned, which was 0.6%, and it's approaching the weekly expected move. So that just goes to show you how low volatility is.